Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, a couple of quick things. I'm going to say happy Thanksgiving. But really, but really, um, uh, I'm going to talk a bit about gratitude. Hey, James. I'm going to talk a little bit about gratitude. Oh, James, you're not going to like this one. I'm going to talk about gratitude. Hi, Linda. Yes, I am. Yeah. Um, so I mean, it's a beautiful thing that we've organized, in our culture to have a day where we give thanks. And I think that it was arranged around the success of our crop, in the fall, and a little time to kind of enjoy the fruits of our work all summer if we've been a farmer or and I get that. And I think that no matter what, yes, we should take time to you know enjoy the fruits of our work. And yes, yes, it is. And so the but I just wanted to talk about gratitude a little bit. Often, you know, well, most of my life in sobriety and over the years, I people taught me in the beginning to sit down and make a gratitude list, and then for years I have encouraged people to do gratitude lists because we'd often be stuck in some idea of that life was doing us wrong in some way. So we'd sit down and we'd make a list. It's all the things we had to be grateful for: our health, and the country we live in, and our kids and our kids' health, and we had something to eat today, and place to sleep last night, and clothes on our back, and the very minimal sometimes was like, oh my gosh, okay, and we breathe in and breathe out, and would be like, wow, thank you, and it could shift us, especially if we were caught in our head, in our idea that things were not going well, or caught in fear. Gratitude could lift us out of fear, and all of those things. So, but here's the thing. Yes, a breath. Here's the thing. Do we really know what's good or bad for us? Right or wrong for us? I can look back over my life and see countless, countless things that I thought at the time were not going my way. That was not a good thing. And later, look back and said, "Wow, I'm so glad that happened." Right? Because my judgment on a thing had been had come from my ego. Ego is always the judge of right or wrong, or good or bad. Ego, good or bad or right or wrong, is in time. It's measured in time. You know, we're when we're really here in this moment, and there is no time, then there's nothing missing. Imagine letting go of all of that idea of time, all of that idea of right and wrong and good and bad, the dualistic world that we talk about, but we talk about it and often don't really acknowledge it. Yes, it is. Thanks, Linda. You're right. And so we talk about, wanting to live in the now, or living in the now, or being one with what is. And yet, socially or society kind of prompts us to judge things as good or bad or right or wrong. And And so in that state of good or bad or right or wrong, we're always in stress, right? We're always in stress. We're always trying to either get it right or trying, or wondering why it didn't happen the way we thought it was going to happen. And often then we'll blame God. If something happens that we think is really good, we say, wow, God, I really got a God shot. I really felt that God was there. And we separate, ourselves from God, and as if, God thought, well, I'm going to give David a special moment, you know, and so, or if things are really going bad, why is God mad at me? So it's all silliness, really. It's just silliness. It doesn't exist. That isn't the way it is. When we're here now, no matter what's happening, if you're laying in a hospital bed and about to pass from cancer, should you be thinking, oh my God, this is terrible? Or really experiencing the moment, being there without judgment, So gratitude actually denotes often judgment. We're judging everything. Where our ego mind is always calculating, is this good, is this bad, is this safe, is this, dangerous, is this, we're always calculating. So just watch that gratitude isn't as a result of your judgment, my judgment of what is in the moment. And if we're going to have gratitude, why not have it all the time? If there is no good or bad or right or wrong, it just is, and we've proven it over and over again. I just mentioned it, a minute ago. How many times? I'll tell you an example. This was big for me. This was really big. This is big. Suffering is as a result again of our perception of the moment. So suffering isn't standalone. Linda was saying it's hard to have gratitude in the moment of suffering. Suffering is not. Suffering comes from the judgment. Again, we're saying this is wrong. That's why I'm suffering. This is, And so if we have pain, be with the pain. What is the pain saying? Where's the pain coming from? Be in the pain. And often pain is resistance. And we've been taught that by the sages since the dawn of time. It doesn't mean the pain will go away, but we be there without judgment. And maybe asking the question, what's here now? This is maybe a wake up to bring us into the moment. Imagine that some of us came to this planet, maybe all of us came to this planet in a way to enjoy the physical form and to wake up to who we truly are in physical form, in consciousness. So I was going to tell you a quick story. So last year, I had to close a business down, and I was so attached. And at one level I knew that already that it wasn't good or bad or right or wrong, but at another level I was like, no friggin' way is this going to happen. And I meant happen to me, because I was in a victim place. I was like, oh gosh. So anyway, it happened. But I did struggle. Oh my gosh. And I had this, I was not willing to, and so even the struggle was perfect in the moment. When I look back, I'm like, okay, I get it now. The struggle was perfect because so much came out of that. Such great gifts came from that. But I didn't see it in the moment. Boy, oh boy, it was like, I was so afraid. I really got into it. And after, 40 years of kind of doing the work, if you will, to facilitate or in hopes of some sort of an awakening, the what happened with the business was the most beautiful thing. It was like, oh, it was that what I needed, you know. And some of us need a big stick to get banged with a big stick. Not that the universe is kind of banging us for anything else but to awaken. And my prayers had always been to awaken. And I didn't get it, you know, and so I get it now. And I watch. I'm so much more able to be conscious, to be the observer, to watch all the stuff in the system. The conditioned beliefs are what want to come up and run my life. Tell me that this is good and this is bad, you know. So I'm just, my message today is that, do we really know what's good or bad? I know Eagle tells us we do, but just relax for a minute and be with what is. Because everything at one level is amazing. Life is amazing. You know, if you're in recovery and you've had to go through losing everything to awaken, you know, your family, you know, right? And your businesses and your homes, and sometimes you wake up at the mustard seed and you're like, oh my God, okay, this is it. It's time to feel gratitude. Lots of guys, lots of men and women, you know, at the drop-in center and the mustard seed this Thanksgiving, grateful for this moment, you know, have had an awakening. And lots of people in treatment and in hospitals that are grateful. They're like, wow, this is beautiful. So just recognize, no matter where we are, what situation we're in our life, it is amazing. This is all, it's all a gift. It's all grace. So we can't say this is and this isn't. Be with that. Okay? Sometimes a bit of a hard pill to swallow because we're accustomed to being a victim. We're accustomed to saying, this has happened to me. And that's part of our psyche on the planet, you know, part of our cultural conditioning. That good and bad, right and wrong. Okay, I'm done with that. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Diana. Okay, you guys. So, you know, every day I read from my little black book, which is the 24-hour day book. And I can't find it this morning. I think it might be in the car, and I don't want to go out and get it. And because I've had it, I've been reading it this last week. I've been working. It's Relief at Fresh Start, and I've been reading it there. They're beautiful there, and they allow me to take a few minutes to do this from there. So, so I've got it online. I've looked it up. It's in my little laptop here beside me. I'm just going to read it from there. All right. Okay. This book, by the way, was written in 1954. And I just want to share with you that Hazelton has recopied it. You know, and so you can, if you don't have the book, you can look it up on Hazelton. They've edited a few things a little bit, but they basically use the same format, and so you can look it up online and read it there. I believe in daily practices help to lift us up, and you know, when we're lifted up into courage and acceptance and unconditional love, then we see that everything is gratitude, everything is grace, everything is gift. Okay, Sunday, October the 11th. Thought for the day. Thought for the day. This is very focused towards AA because it was 1954, the very early days of AA, and AA was only like 15 years old, still an adolescent, and going through lots of struggles and growing rapidly. And thought for the day, how good a sponsor am I? Because, you know, one of the steps in Alcoholics Anonymous, when people tell you they're doing the steps and you don't see them working with newcomers, then, you know, or working with others, then they're probably not doing the steps. They maybe have done some of them, but they're not doing them. And this helping others is so key in the deal. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, love. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you listen to this message later. I think it was okay. It was. Okay. How good a sponsor am I? When I bring new members to a meeting, do I feel that my responsibility has ended? Or do I make it my job to stay with them until they have either become a good member of Alcoholics Anonymous or the 12-step world, or have found another sponsor? If they don't show up for a meeting, do I say to myself, well, they've had it put up to them, so they don't want it. There's nothing more I can do, which I've heard a lot. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I always say, no, but you can salt his oats. Make him thirsty. Help him to see, spend the time. Bring the love. Or do I look them up and find out whether there's a reason for their absence, or that they don't want AA? Do I go out of my way to find out if there's anything more I can do to help? Am I a good sponsor? Lots of times, in sponsorship, it's not just the alcoholic or the addict that needs our support, but also their family. Their families, lots of families are, gosh, I'll tell a quick story. I was working yesterday at the treatment center, and this kind of a middle-aged, 40-something, I guess that's young now, couple came in, and they just had this total look of desperation. Their son has been acting out with drugs and alcohol, and they just didn't know where to go. And because Fresh Start is quite high profile, I suspect that's how they ended up at our door. And my heart went out to them, because they're scared. Their son is drinking and using drugs, and they're scared. So there's lots of work to do, not just with the addict and the alcoholic, but also with their families. And where so much fear can be, and so much, of their blaming themselves, and and regret and guilt and shame can be in the family. What did I do wrong? So it's an amazing field to work in, to support people to recognize that we all have our own journey, and it isn't good or bad or right or wrong. It is just the journey. Anyway, that's another story. Families, there's lots of work to do. Meditation for the day. First, be reconciled to your brother, and then come and offer your gift to God. First, I must get right with other people, and then I can get right with God. If I hold resentment against someone, if I'm angry or hold a resentment towards someone, which I find it very difficult to overcome, I try to put something else constructive into my mind. Let's not say I try. I put something else constructive in my mind. And for me, what happens if I'm having a resentment, there's a prayer in the book that just simply says, take away my anger. Help me to see that others are not well as well, and that, just to take away my anger and show me where I can be of help. God, remove my anger. So it's a simple prayer. Prayer is amazing to move through resentment, and then we can make an amends for our resentment. It said, I pray for the one against whom I have, which I hold a resentment. Just what I said, yes. And for me, my prayer for others is, that they come to know God's will for them. That's it. I don't have that they get better or they change or anything about them. Just that they come to know, the field, the one, the quantum, the universal intelligence, God, if you like, that they experience that. And that's just right there. It's right there. It's not something to learn our way into. Actually, too much learning keeps us from accessing this one. Bill said in We Agnostics, God either is or he isn't. Either he's everything or he's nothing. If he's everything, think, what does that word mean? Everything. All right. I'm almost finished. I put that person in God's hand and lets God show him or her the way to live. If a man say, I love God and haveth his and hateth his brother, he's a liar. And for he that loveth not his brother, whom he has seen, how can he love God whom he has not seen? Beautiful. Hey, Daryl. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may see something good in every person, everyone I dislike, even one I dislike, and then I may let God develop the good in that person. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Well, if you got to this far today, thank you. I just want to mention I have a YouTube channel. You may be watching this on YouTube, but if you're not, would you go to my channel? I'm trying to get into kind of a new bracket on YouTube because they have a lot more support when we get there, yeah. So in the area of viewing, so if you could just go and watch a couple of videos on YouTube, that would be helpful. I'll put the YouTube video on on this one in a few minutes, because I'm going to upload this and play with it to YouTube, and then you can have a look at it, and you can look at the other ones there. Thank you. So visit us on YouTube. So have a beautiful Thanksgiving, and remember that the possibility is to be grateful for everything in each moment, everything. Nothing is out of place. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. Nothing's missing in each moment. Okay. Love you so much. Thanks. Bye, you guys. Thanks, Jen.